Welcome to Auroville's 54th birthday anniversary program, brought to you by the Auroville YouTube channel directory, Tube Thambi, where you can find over 100 authentic Auroville YouTube channels in one place. Due to social distancing concerns and capacity, Auroville is now making the bonfire available through live streaming. For more information and details during this program, please feel free to follow the links in the description below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Now on with the program.
Greetings from Auroville, the city of dawn. Auroville is an international township located in the south of India. It was inaugurated on February 28, 1968, in the presence of 5,000 people, with the support of UNESCO and the Indian government. Youth representing 124 nations participated in the inauguration, with the hopes and dreams of building an ideal society, an ideal city. The landscape is now a lush green forest of what was once a barren plateau. Perhaps the buildings and infrastructure should have come first. However, that is why coming to Auroville means coming to a gigantic effort for progress. At present, Auroville is a growing community of over 3,000 people from over 58 nations. But it is an active community with well over 10,000 participants on a daily basis. Auroville aspires to be a universal town where men and women of all countries are able to live in peace and progressive harmony, especially above all creeds, all politics, and all nationalities. Because the purpose of Auroville is to realize human unity. The kind of human unity where we do not always get along or see eye to eye, but have a respect for each other, which leads to progress, both spiritually and materially. Currently, Auroville finds itself in a period of transition. We are, as is the world, at the cusp of a new era, and cannot but trust that our friends, well-wishers and viewers will take the signs of turmoil and re-adaptation that may come to their knowledge through various media, in the wider context of renewal and growth.
Hi Auroville, I love you and a very happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
పుట్టినరోజు శుభాకాంక్షలు ఆరోవిల్.
ఆరోవిల్కి పిறந்தநாள் வாழ்த்துக்கள். வணக்கம்.
Happy birthday to Auroville.
Happy birthday, Auroville. Happy birthday.
Even though Auroville has been around for more than 50 years, there are still billions of people around the world that have no idea by whom or how Auroville was founded. Let's take a look. It was a French woman by the name of Mira Alfassa who was the driving force behind the manifestation of Auroville. Under the shaping influence of dual philosophies, that of her own and that of Sri Aurobindo, Auroville emerges as a unique, multicultural confluence, where matter and spirit, the individual and the collective, meet in the search for a higher consciousness. She was born as the second child of an Egyptian mother and a Turkish father, a few months after her parents had settled in France. She was an extraordinarily gifted child who also became an accomplished painter and musician. In her 20s, she studied occultism in Algeria with Max Thion and his English wife Alma, who was a highly developed medium. And after her return to Paris, she worked with several different groups of spiritual seekers. She first heard about Sri Aurobindo from her second husband Paul Richard, who had visited him in Pondicherry in 1910 and in 1914. Along with her husband, she was able to travel to Pondicherry and meet him in person. There, she immediately recognized him as a mentor that she had encountered in earlier visions and knew that her future work was at his side. Although she had to leave India after the outbreak of the First World War, she returned to Pondicherry in April 1920 to join Sri Aurobindo and never left again. Sri Aurobindo recognized in her an embodiment of what in India is traditionally known as the Supreme Mother. It is here where she begins to be referred to as the Mother. It was the Mother who organized the growing group of followers around Sri Aurobindo into the Sri Aurobindo Ashram from November 1926 onward, and who in 1952, after his passing in 1950, created the Sri Aurobindo International Center of Education to fulfill his wish for a new kind of education for Indian youth. In 1968, she founded the International Township Project of Auroville as a yet wider field for practical attempts to implement Sri Aurobindo's vision of new forms of individual and collective life that will prepare the way towards a brighter future for the whole earth.
Happy birthday, Auroville!
Happy birthday, Auroville. I am Arul Mugil from Pondicherry and you are our assert. Thank you very much for the opportunity and happy birthday again, Auroville. Love you so much.
Happy birthday to all the people of Auroville, because Auroville is the people, not the place.
Happy birthday, Auroville!
Happy birthday, Auroville.
Happy Punta. ஐயோ
இனிய பிறந்தநாள் வாழ்த்துக்கள்.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
You see colors in everything around you, every moment of the day. But do you ever stop to think about the impact each of those colors is having on you? In January 1972, the founder of Auroville, an international township in South India, gave her architect a list of 12 virtues with a corresponding color palette representing attitudes towards the divine and attitudes towards humanity. Let's take a look. Okay, the Matri Mandir, which represents the heart of the Auroville community, is surrounded at its base by 12 rooms which represent petals and 12 gardens. All 12 rooms have the same shape, that of a flattened sphere, like the Matri Mandir itself, but smaller. The insides of the shell of these rooms are painted in different colors. Sincerity is pale blue. Humility and gratitude have different shades of green. Perseverance is yellow. Aspiration is golden yellow. Receptivity is orange. Courage is red. Generosity is violet. And peace is dark blue. When the chambers are open, you can sit and concentrate on a particular virtue while being bathed in the light of the corresponding color. The rooms are air conditioned and there is an object of concentration at eye level if you're sitting on the floor. This object is a translucent oval disc made of glass reinforced plastic, which is placed in front of a small window through which natural light enters at daytime. At night time, electrical light produces a similar effect. There are also some geometrical patterns on each of these objects, which help with concentration, and a different geometrical pattern for each room. Moving from each room, quietly and efficiently, is made possible by a circular corridor which surrounds the Matri Mandir. Even each of the 12 gardens surrounding the Matri Mandir have their respective colors and meanings beautifully associated with them through flowers. Color is a powerful communications tool, And our vibrant world is filled with colors that may affect you more than you realize. Even here at Tube Tambi, we use these colors within the context of the logo. Perhaps you have noticed that we even try to rotate them every 2 months.
ಹುಟ್ಟುಹಬ್ಬದ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು ಆರೋವಿಲ್.
वाढदिवसाची हार्दिक शुभेच्छा ऑरोविल.
ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಬರ್ಡೇ ಆರೋವಿಲ್.
Happy birthday, Auroville!
Happy birthday Auroville.
Happy birthday Auroville.
Did you know that the number one thing that people search for about Auroville is how to join? Auroville is constantly evolving, as are the people who live here, and that means policies and processes change as well. But there are some fundamentals about the idea of joining Auroville that stay the same, so let's check them out. Coming to live in Auroville is not a decision to take lightly. It implies leaving behind one's old familiar surroundings, agreements, comfort zone, and mindset. First of all, you should start by coming for a visit. Get to know the emerging city and its society, and only then make a commitment to start the process of joining it. Of course, some study and understanding of the vision underlying the township is not only a must, but also a great help for your process. Auroville is ready to welcome you and guide you through the first months of exploring. It will present itself to you through various introductory programs that take you through the different places and communities in which we live, and through the different ways in which we apply our understanding and commitment to Auroville's vision. There are also other ways to be a part of the community, besides starting the entry process. You can become a volunteer, a friend of Auroville, or even be the spouse or partner of an Aurovillian. If you happen to be associated with an Auroville project, business, or other activity, and have become interested in the experiment and would want to be further engaged, there's even an associate status for you to look into. Life in Auroville continually changes and evolves, and its citizens along with it. These various categories of being connected to the city each have their different aspects and agreements, and can of course, in time, morph into a deeper connection. If experienced from an open and courageous place, life here can be challenging, but inwardly enriching as well. If this idea speaks to you, and you want to know more about it, you can write to entry service at auroville.org.n. For further, practical information, you can follow the links in the description below this video. Thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe on your way out.
Happy birthday Auroville.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
Okay, so happy birthday, Auroville!
Happy birthday Auroville.
Happy birthday Auroville.
We came here, we found out that we share anniversary with the Auroville birthday, and we carefully, I would say we chose a good date for it. So happy birthday Auroville.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
Happy birthday Auroville.
During Auroville's first few years, from 1968 to 1973, Mir Alfasa, affectionately known as the Mother, directly guided the project. After her passing in November 1973, the residents of Auroville soon found themselves in confrontation with the Sri Aurobindo Society, who claimed control over the project. A number of experts say that when trying to predict the future, it can be helpful to look at the past and assess today's trends. The more things change, the more they stay the same. In today's video, we interview an Aurovillian who takes us on a journey back in time to when the founder of Auroville had just passed away.
Been here since 49 years, planting here 55,000 trees, and then later shifting towards Matimandia. And then we were all so shocked when Mother left her body. And it started actually then. We were not aware of that yet. What started? we were kind of, mother who has founded us, who has called us, and most of us have come with this book written by Satprem called Sri Aurobindo, or The Adventure of Consciousness. Slowly the situation in Auroville started to deteriorate. What do I mean by that? Before, we always got our visa, and it was a matter of, the Chancellor, the secretary, and doing the recommendation and all that, working at Matrimony or whatever job you do. And then they came and we were called to the office in Pondicherry, and we had to sign this paper, which was quickly becoming known as the slave paper, because basically it is a transfer of power in the sense when mother had left her body, she had put the Sri Aurobindo Society, which for clarity's sake it is not the ashram, it is a separate unit. She had put these people in charge for organization, receiving the donations coming from all over the world. You needed certain protocol and procedure to handle this in complying with the laws of the country we are the guests in. Then we realized we have to sign this slang paper, where basically it says, from now on you will receive the instructions, we turned it into commands, and we sit in our air-conditioned office in Pondicherry and you do the work, and you execute our daily instructions or commands, or the weekly commands, and the plans and what you have to do, how and when and where. And they were thinking that the dog would not bite the hand that feeds it. They were wrong. We were a bunch of adventurers who did not come to be fed like a street dog. We have come for something vastly different. So, we did not sign this paper saying that they were giving us the plans, instructions, commands, what to do, where, and what we are allowed to do and what we are not allowed to do. And then they said, oh, in that case, you may not get your visa extended or get your visa cancelled. You may have to face written notices, deportation orders. And this was going on over months and years. It was not a matter of, short time. And then it had come to the point where we had these wild meetings, the Putu meetings and meetings here and there, and the construction place in the cellar of the Bar Nivas where we could meet without being pursued. And we agreed, no, we have not come for that. And we have no money and no power, and they closed the money supply, they closed the food supply. And we were reaching out the best way we could to the already, in a rudimentary manner, in a kind of fragmented organization of Auroville International, like now it is well established in all the countries, in my case in Germany. Anyhow, we were reaching out, we need help, we need money, we need to eat. We will not go down like slaves here, we did not come here for that. The obvious effect was that they cancelled our visa even if they were years still valid. And then they came, either you sign this paper or you will receive a quit notice. We did not sign, the quit notices arrived. And then we were supposed, you will be deported now, you have to report with your luggage to this and this point, this and this. And we refused to be deported. And then the law machine is being set in motion. And all good Aurovillians, I'm saying consciously, all good Aurovillians, went to jail, including me and Frederick and all these people. Something I never forget, Villapuram Central. When I travel today by motorbike or by other means through that village, Villapuram, I never forget that jail there. It was a very intense experience. And then there were these people who called themselves neutrals, and who, to this day, it seems some of them have not understood, if you not take a stand, and you think to live in the illusion of neutrality, you are, by not standing up, you are supporting the oppressor. And if you are not understanding this, there's not much left to argue. And Then it started that we were still there. We refused to be deported. We refused to cave into the pressure. We refused to cave in under going through the experience of being in an Indian jail. Though the people, by the way, the prison wardens, they knew we are not ordinary thieves or murderers, and they were treating us from a heart level very nicely, friendly. They did not treat us like criminals. So we were back, and then it started. They went as far as hiring a total army of 70 gundas, and I'm knowing what I'm talking about here. We have seen, we have counted. I have personally seen a certain fellow member of the SAS comes with a jeep handing out banknotes. We could see that without binoculars. And the message was, these are foreigners, this is our India, this is our land, throw them out. And then these people, these paid mercenaries, they knew me, they knew us. And their heart was not really in it. But still, for the money and for some brandy and liquor, they finally got themselves a bit loaded up with some liquor. And they were just coming running with big sticks and beating wildly. And I had learned to evade the big blow. But other people were less lucky. They ended up in hospital. We learned that actually now it is a matter of life and death. It's not just a political, it's not just, we don't want to be slaves. Now it is survival. They already closed the money supply. They already closed the food supply. First emergency donations and support was coming in. We managed to live, we managed to organize, we managed to eat. We managed to throw these people off. They realized that even we are a minority, that we are strong, we are not budging, we are not running away, and they are just paid slightly drunk fellows. They did their job and then they ran away. At that time we had no video recording of people bleeding and broken bones. We had to write down and type and send letters by mail, and support and help was coming, and we had people like who knew people high up in the hierarchy and the New Delhi government who were almost shaking hands with Indira Gandhi, who was coming here as a devotee of Mother. So we had people on those levels. They thought, the SAS people, they thought we turn them into slaves. If they do not agree to be on the receiving end of our commands and instructions, we will throw them out, deport them. We refused. They didn't expect that we refused en masse, that we went to jail, and we were still there. They sent up to 70 gundas, physical fights. We refused, we didn't budge. Some people got hurt. Blood was flowing, bones were broken. We were still there, not running away. Then they started to invent with they had the money, donation money coming in for Oroville, actually it was meant to be. And they invented this thing, according to Indian law, it is like this. You have an organization which is under the umbrella, the title, religious undertaking. If we declare Oroville a religious undertaking, never mind that Mother and Sri Aurobindo all their life have written and talked and lived by the example that we do not want to start another religion. Please never try to put us and what we are saying and teaching here in the category of religion. We had enough religion, we have to go beyond this. People have been killing each other for centuries and centuries, the Christians, the non-Christians, the Muslims, the whatever, Hindu. We have to go beyond all this. So, the SAS, with their lawyers, with the money, they invented the scheme then. We turned this into a religious undertaking. Then, by now, we had started to call for help, vocally and then in writing, to the government of India, where we had friends. Look, they are destroying Mother's dream. Anyhow, this is when it started like that, when they realized they couldn't get rid of us as they thought they could. We were stubborn. We were refusing to die or to be deported, to disappear, to vanish. And then this religious thing came in, and then it was a long, drawn out, still trying to, no money, no food, no visa, we are illegal aliens here. still we stayed, still we managed. Support was growing from all this side because there is a dream here. Mother and Sri Aurobindo both said that, which is stronger than all the mental schemes of if you try something new, that you don't own the land. This whole project of Auroville is meant to be a laboratory of evolution towards true human unity. Not anything to do with religion, but true human unity. Then you can expect that you get all the forces of the old world being up against you. Because the old forces don't want this. They don't want this evolution. They don't want human unity. In the end, we ended up with them always, and then means SAS. By the way, I went personally, I wanted to see the boss of the SAS. I went personally alone to the ashram, found out where's the house close to the ashram main building. Where is Mr. Sri Navajata, the boss of the Sri Aurobindo Society? Where is he living? I want to visit him. Not to aggress, no, I want to see, I want to ask personally. And I insisted long enough that finally he caved in. I could actually see him in his house. First row, I never forget. And I could see this, dressed in holy white ashram, white outfit, all very holy. And I asked him then, look, Sri Navajata, what are you doing? We came here for Mother, and here's the Auroville Mother's dream, and you know all this. What are you doing? I wanted to see the man, and the man with his glasses, his white dress, he looked at me with this kind of divine, semi-divine, benign smile, and raising his hands. Good show, good for any Bollywood movie. We all do Mother's work, the divine work, all of us, isn't it? Anyhow, I left knowing this guy as a liar, he would fight to the end. So the thing went on, and there comes the day where the verdict was pronounced saying, this is not a religion. On that very day, Sri Navajata died of a heart attack. He has put all his more or less his energy, his money, his ambition into it, and the moment when the total failure, in spite of all the money, all the best lawyers, it collapsed. The answer is no. Then the Emergency Act came.
We hope you enjoyed today's look back, and thank you for stopping by. For more information, you can follow the links in the description below. And please remember to subscribe on your way out.
Happy birthday to Auroville, and happy birthday to all the Aurovillians who make Auroville possible. And thank you so much to the Supreme Court of India for saying that Auroville represents the highest ideal of India and nothing should frustrate it.
If you're planning on visiting Auroville and immersing yourself in the community experience, just know that the main guest season is from December to March, and a second shorter season runs from July to September. During these times, it's best to book well in advance. It is highly advisable, in all seasons, before planning a visit to Auroville, to visit the guest house website, which you can find the link for in the description below. It offers an overview of different accommodation, from guest houses to residential stays, and at different levels of price and comfort. You can be sure that they are all units of Auroville, and they are facilitated by Aurovillians who can help you with all the formalities and basic information during your visit. It should be remembered that Auroville is a non-profit, evolving community that lays stress on a quiet lifestyle that is close to nature. Although the quality of accommodation and service provided may be simple in comparison with a fancy hotel, Guests tend to enjoy the green, clean surroundings that facilitate space for oneness and inner reflection.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
జన్మదిన శుభాకాంక్షలు ఆరోవిల్.
Happy birthday, Auroville.
Well, that is all for this portion of our program. Stand by as we switch you over to the remainder of the bonfire meditation. We thank each and every one of you who sent us birthday wishes, and we look forward to your next visit. Please stay in touch by following the links in the description below. जल्द ही फिर मिलेंगे.